Hi there. I'm so excited to welcome you to the Club Optimize preview program. Today's topic is exercise. I've chosen exercise as the first topic because I think it has the most ability to improve and impact your overall health. If you think about as you age, you are naturally going to become a little more decompensated. Your muscles won't work as well. Your tendons aren't as strong. Moving parts just wear out. If you think about the tread on your tires, they're never as good as they were the first day you had them. And you're never going to be as young as you are today. So what can you do to help improve these metrics as you age so that you don't experience the decline that you can naturally expect to happen? So when we talk about exercise, I break exercise down into three different types. Cardiovascular exercise, probably the easiest. You can do it at home. You can go out for a walk. You don't really need a lot of equipment or even really a lot of time to do cardio exercise. This will impact your heart and your vascular health, help keep your organs healthy by allowing good blood flow to them, and keep your lungs healthy because as you age, it becomes harder to breathe. Strength training is important as we age as well. The more muscle you have going into your older decades, the healthier and stronger and more independent you're going to be. Stability is so important because as we age, we become a little more unstable on our feet. And stability within our muscles and our tendons, having them working together to keep us from falling, is very important because falls, as you get older, can be life-threatening, if not just from the fall, but from the immobility and the downtime that occurs after. It's much harder to recover from an injury when you're 80 and have poor muscle tone than it is if you're younger or if you have more muscle tone. So, cardio exercise, like I said before, is probably the easiest to do, and it's where I like to start. If you're not doing any exercise at all, then simply adding some cardiovascular exercise by going for a walk for 30 minutes 5 times a week, that's a great place to start. Just getting out there, you'd be surprised, will do a lot for your dopamine levels, for your motivation, and it will help spur the change to increase your exercise as you go. And so you want to start with 30 minutes at a time. If you're already doing that, add some hills. Add some spikes in intensity, add some more time to your routine. Go up to 45 minutes, 60 minutes. You can't really do too much cardio. Strength exercises. Strength exercises are so important to put on muscle. I see a lot of, specifically my women patients, tend to not do enough strength exercise. They're afraid they're going to get bulky or put on a lot of muscle. I have yet to meet somebody who puts on muscle easily. You have to work pretty hard to put on muscle, let alone excessive muscle, once you hit 40. And so the more muscle you have, the more you can eat because muscle burns calories. The more muscle you have, the stronger you're going to be going into your older years, and you're going to suffer less immobility. And so really working on muscle training now is like money in the bank. If you wait until you're 70 or 80, it's going to be pretty hard to put on muscle at that point in your life. You want to pack that muscle on now so that you have it when you're 70 or 80 years old. Stability exercises, like I said, are super important, but I think they should be the last to be added to your routine. If you are not already strong in your muscles, then making them work really fast in doing what they're doing is probably a bad idea and an easy way to get injured. If you scroll down, you'll see I've included some demonstrations of my favorite exercises. Farmer carries are probably my favorite because they're so easy. You're basically just carrying 2 weights in your hand, but you're doing it with really good form. And this is really important because think about it. You want to carry your groceries home from the grocery store when you are older. You don't want to have to depend on being taken to the store or having to live with somebody because you can't carry your groceries. You want to be able to travel, and you'll need to be able to carry a suitcase. If you can't take your carry-on and put it in the overhead bin now, chances are in 2 decades, you're not going to be able to travel. And so now's the time to start working on these skills, making sure that your muscles are able to do just activities of daily living. The box step up is a good example of a combination of a strength and stability exercise because you need to be able to balance on this leg while you're pulling yourself up. I recommend starting these with a very low box or just no step at all to get used to the form, and watch a couple of rounds on YouTube before you try it on your own. This would not be a program if we didn't include some goals for you. So here we go. Walking for 30 minutes, that's going to help your cardiovascular goal. If you're already doing this, then bump this up. Make your goal to be to walk for 45 minutes. If you're already really an intermediate exerciser, then maybe you want to add strength training to this for 30 minutes. You're already doing a lot of cardio. Add some muscle training, some farmer carries in. If you're already an intermediate exerciser, why not go to a HIIT class or maybe work with a trainer or start doing some Pilates, take it to the next level. Drink water. Remember, you're going to need more water if you're out there sweating. And so a good rule of thumb is about 8 ounces for every 15 pounds that you weigh. If you're sweating, you want to increase that a little bit. If you're sweating a lot, then you might want to consider an electrolyte drink. I like Element, LMNT is a great one. Make sure you're not taking in excess glucose. I have some patients that come to me telling me that they drink Pedialyte to recover from a workout. There's a little bit of glucose in that that's just simple glucose. You want to replenish your electrolytes, but you don't necessarily want to flood your body with glucose that you're going to have to either store or burn. We're going to talk about that later in the nutrition section of the program. Downloading an exercise app is so valuable. In this day and age with all of the electronic tools that we have to help us, this is such a good one. If you're wearing a Fitbit or an Apple Watch, then you probably already have this technology. But here's a couple of apps I included. What I like about these apps is that if you're a person that walks into the gym not knowing what you're going to do and flounders around a little bit, then these apps will actually help you plan your routine. You can say, hey, I want to do legs today, or I want to do chest and tries, and it will dial in a workout for you. It will also let you select based on what kind of equipment you have so that you can do everything from an at-home workout with no equipment to a full-on workout at the gym, and this will help you plan all of those things. It will also help you track your metrics, which we're going to discuss below. Couple of tips. My favorite tip is just laying out my clothes the night before. It just helps me mentally wrap my head around the fact that I'm going to the gym in the morning. And as an added bonus, if I plan my workout ahead of time, then I even know what I'm going to do. It's even more mentally stimulating for me to get there and to carry out that task. Metrics. If you are a nerd like me, you like metrics, and metrics are a great way of telling how well you're doing. Honestly, just seeing how your clothes fit or how you look in the mirror for some people is enough. But if you're really data driven, then metrics are important. So when it comes to cardiovascular health and exercise fitness, tracking your resting heart rate is great. When you wake up in the morning, get out your watch or your Apple Watch and count your heart rate for a minute, or count it for 30 seconds and multiply by 2. Your resting heart rate should be low. People that are healthy typically will have a very low resting heart rate. I think I heard Lance Armstrong has a heart rate in the 40s, resting heart rate in the 40s. And then you're going to want to note your maximum heart rate after a really intense workout. It doesn't have to be 60 minutes, but if you were to do a cardio sprint or a really high intensity interval, you want to pull out your watch and track that heart rate. And these two numbers are going to help determine how fit you really are. And so really the great number that I like to look at is the VO2 max. We have a lot of data about VO2 max and what it means and says about your overall health and how you can expect it to decline as you age. So if you look here, I've included some charts, but where do we get these numbers? We're going to want to look at this here. Maximum heart rate divided by your resting heart rate. Multiply that times 15.3, and this is your VO2 max. I don't do this calculation in my head. I cheat. There's a website here that allows you to plug in a lot of your demographics and it will pull up your VO2 max for you. You can also track it with your Apple Watch or Fitbit. But once you get that number, or you just do it with a good old-fashioned paper and pen, once you get that number, you're going to want to come down here to these charts. For me, I'm 49. My VO2 max to be excellent should be above 40. Well, I'm an overachiever. That's not good enough for me, and it's not good enough for my patients because I know it's going to get harder as they get older. And just like putting money in the bank, there's no time like the present. And so I want to go 2 notches down here. This 52 is really my aim. That's my goal. And so that's what I'm aiming for, and that's what we calculate for our patients. So in the Club Optimize program, we go through all of these factors with our patients and identify where cardio strength and stability can be improved, offer suggestions on how to do that and to progress your specific exercise routine, how to track your metrics, and plan for where they should be so that you can be healthier in 1, 2, 3 decades from now than you would normally be if you didn't intervene. I hope you enjoyed today's exercise module. Get a great night's sleep because tomorrow we are going to talk about sleep. Bye for now.